Reuters, I think it was Reuters, had reported that as the protests began in several of these cities in China and on college campuses, the most widespread show of public dissent, as it's been described, Apple decided to restrict its use in China, meaning that people would have to do all of this without a very crucial tool of communication. So AirDrop, you know the AirDrop feature that you have on your iPhone and other devices? It helps people evade censorship because AirDrop uses connections between phones and it forms a network of these devices. And so you don't need the internet to communicate. You can just allow in your settings, you can just choose to receive airdrops from anyone else that has an iPhone nearby. So it creates its own intra-phone network where you don't have to rely on, like in China, the state-run internet. But for some reason, on November 9th, when Apple released a new version of, when it had its new operating system, iOS 16.11, it didn't list new features. It says that it includes bug fixes and security updates recommended for all users. But hidden in the update was a change that was only applicable to the iPhones that were sold in China. AirDrop can only be set to receive messages from everyone for 10 minutes and then it switches off. There's no way now on Chinese iPhones to keep the everyone setting permanently on their phones. And the change was noticed by Chinese readers of one tech entity called 9to5Mac. And they were taking screenshots, and they said that AirDrop now is a time limit in China. And it was a restriction based on hardware rather than software. So only the iPhone models purchased in mainland China are actually affected by it. They limited it. Now, some people are speculating that the Chinese regulator demanded that Apple do so in its iOS update to prevent people from spreading what they consider harmful content and anti-government material. Very interesting. They were saying that it's an issue of national security. That's why you saw some of these protesters out with blank pieces of paper. They couldn't write anything on it because, remember, a year earlier during the protests in Hong Kong, slogans had been criminalized. So they decided the little network that they created, just by using AirDrop between phones, China decided, oh no, that can spread disinformation. So we're going to have to regulate that. We're going to have to shut that down. I mean, that's pretty unbelievable, but they did it. I mean, they used it, like I said, in Hong Kong. It was one of the most effective tools of communication in Hong Kong. And it was a way to spread messages to tourists from mainland China who came to visit Hong Kong. I mean, there's been protest literature dropped. There's all kinds of stuff. They call it the Great Firewall over there because that's what they call China's total control of the internet. Now, when Apple was asked to explain it, they wouldn't respond. And so the market share in China is growing for Apple. 16% of smartphone shipments in China last quarter were iPhones. That's up 11% a year ago. The leader is Vivo. It's a Chinese company. They have 20% of all the smartphone shipments. And so they're actually working, you could say they're working with the government by aiding the government with the functionality of their phone.